Today I'm traveling on a sleeper train which has a history of running very late. I'll show you exactly what happens in case of a service disruption and what's on board, from extra amenities to the food you get, to my own private room with the bed and the unique moments that only come with train travel. Oh, and they even have a shower. So sit back and watch how this turns into this in my 2 days journey to Washington, D.C. Normally, I'll get to the station during the day, but following a 12-hour delay on yesterday's train's arrival, even today's departure was getting affected. And so, well after sunset, here I am at Orlando, Florida Station. Built in 1926, Orlando Station is one of 5 most historic stations in Florida that is still operating. I didn't exactly know the history or significance at the time, but because I had so much time to spare, I had the chance to thoroughly look around this 99-year-old beautiful architecture. I even dared to enter a do not enter area. Sure, it wasn't a grand station, but much more than this. 7 o'clock closure. I wonder if they'll kick us out once the station hours is over. Fortunately and unfortunately, I found out crew members are required to stay until the train arrives. Yikes. And if the train comes after 9, do they still serve dinner, or how, do you know?
They'll let you know on the train. It's hard to say now what they do, yeah.
Ah, man. Amtrak serves dinner from 5 to 9. 9:07, huh? Alright, we'll see when it actually arrives. In the meantime, let's finish looking around the station. Oh, you look familiar. As I finished looking around the history of the station, I received a gift from Amtrak. Amtrak's signature snack pack containing fruit snacks, brownie crisps, and mini pretzels. Sure, it's not a lot, but hey, the delay already happened and there was nothing we could do about it. And at least they were doing what they could to help passengers. As the crew members did what they could, I also did the only thing I could. Later, I noticed many passengers trying to save Private Cheez-It, but unfortunately, hours went by, and finally,
This is the moment we have always been waiting for. This is the morning on the floor, train number 40, the Floridian.
as I finally made my way down the platform, I realized something, that this path was awfully familiar. Yes, I was here just 2 months ago and I walked down the same path to try to see the face of the train. It was a bright day back then, but here I am 2 months and 3.5 hours late. Woohoo! They say it's the small surprises that make travel unforgettable, but this one was tough and cold. The very first thing I did on board was to get an answer to my long-awaited question, the dinner. I was told that there might be something left.
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be to go, okay?
To go, okay? Yeah, anything that's gonna...
No, I only have
okay.
chicken.
Chicken and salmon, okay. I've always gone for the steak, so this was an involuntary opportunity to try something different. And if you think the room looks a little different than the usual, yeah, so this is the Viewliner 2. But the priority right now, of course, was the dinner. Pan-roasted chicken breast cooked right on the spot and 2 scoops of mashed potato. Oh, what? I'll just pretend like there's only one so that the hair is not there, right? I enjoyed the clean portion, which was hot and creamy with just the right amount of fluffiness. The chicken breast was juicy and tender with the golden crispy crust still intact. It was comparable to the usual steak. Even the veggies were a delight experience. Of course, the fact that it was 10:30 at night did not stop me from enjoying a delicious cheesecake dessert. As I finished my dinner, we got on the road again following a slight delay here at Orlando. Why don't I do like a room tour, the car tour tomorrow morning when we have some daylight, alright? And it was now time for bed. I spent a few minutes in the hall while my room attendant was busy working on my room. And when I got back, my room was transformed into a bed. Yes, a bed on a train. Good morning, day 2. I had a wonderful sleep. I always do on a train. What didn't seem so wonderful was the fact that we were stopped. Luckily, we were at a station stop. I just happened to be on the woody side. I bummed around for a few minutes to really enjoy the comfy sleeper train experience. Well, actually more than 20 minutes to be honest, but let's get going now, shall we? So I made my way to the dining car again, but not just to look around. No, that can wait. The breakfast is only served from 6:30 to 9:30, so that was my now or never priority. I was lucky enough to have a table to myself as the train was nowhere near sold out capacity. And let me tell you about this price hack I used, possible only on such trains. First, I purchased a $87 coach ticket. And don't ask me why the sale price is $80 when the regular price is $79. Some things are better left a mystery. Then I used Amtrak's bid up program where you can literally bid how much you are willing to pay for an upgrade. I did just $325, which Amtrak thought was a poor offer, but I knew that unless you are buying months in advance, the price will keep on rising, and unlike some trains that sell out, this one rarely sells out. And Amtrak accepted my offer the day before because they still had rooms available on the day of travel at 9:16. So there's my price. Alright, let us now enjoy the included breakfast. There are 4 options, each customizable to fit vegetarian needs. And here I have the tricolor potatoes, a biscuit, and a 3-egg omelette, complete with ham and cheese. Cooked to order, it was once again steamy hot. It was a delicious, hottest omelette experience I've ever had, and also the cheesiest. Alright, now let me first show you around the blue car, or the Viewliner 1. Here, taking up the whole hallway is the bedroom. Set with a lengthy sofa that can turn into a bed, the room also has a sink and a mirror. And above the sofa you will find a foldable upper bed. Inside, the most notable space is a separate, closed-off space with a toilet and a shower inside your room. Here, taking up half the hallway on each side are roomettes. Same first-class category, but in a smaller, more affordable travel option. It also hosts 2 beds, but the key difference here is the fact that toilet is in the same open space of a room. I am scheduled to travel in this room in just 2 weeks, so stay tuned if you'd like to see more of the blue car. Moving over to the red car, or Viewliner 2, it hosts the same layout. Here, taking up the hallway are bedrooms in red with slightly newer furniture. There isn't any major difference among bedrooms. However, roomettes on the other hand have a huge difference. Oh, it seems like my room attendant turned the bed into seats again while I was gone. Here, in half the space of a bedroom are 2 seats facing one another, and space for your large carry-on below a step. Yes, it's a step. They got rid of the toilet, which was a much welcomed change for many passengers. And up the steps once again is the upper bunk bed. But don't be like me and make sure you use the handle to lower the bed first before climbing up so you can actually climb into the bed. I see they thoughtfully placed windows up here too. For those who fear the height, they got a seatbelt for your safety. Both view liners have extra space up above. There's a mirror, a folding sink with clever switch design. Ooh, science. And you will find a bunch of buttons, and I really mean a bunch. Because the room can hold up to 2 people, they made sure to put extras of everything so whoever is on the upper bed doesn't have to climb down every time he or she needs to adjust something. The tray table unfortunately will feel quite small for 2 to use together. In the hallway was an ice and coffee station, but yeah. And obviously, instead of in-room toilets, there were traditional restrooms at the end of the car. They were pretty standard small restrooms found on any other train. But the highlight, of course, was the shower, filled with Beekman amenities and the softest towels I've come across while on travel. And here's a quiz for you guys. What should you do if the shower isn't running? Well, of course, press that button. It took me a good 5 minutes to figure out, but I was able to enjoy a refreshing hot shower. After the shower, I got started on my favorite train activity, sightseeing of the scenery to my left. What? Unfortunately, there wasn't a dedicated sightseeing lounge with a surround view, so if I wanted to watch my right side, I had to make my way to the train's doorway, which was pretty cold. If you're not a fan of the cold weather, the other option would be the cafe car. Speaking of the cafe, though they have lots of snacks on sale, there aren't any complimentary snacks, unless of course the train gets delayed for hours. With my emergency snack pack from yesterday, I cozily watched the world go by from the best seat in the house. All possible thanks to these non-dotted windows. Bright line. We passed by a famous medieval castle. I'm sorry, that's actually a market in Raleigh, North Carolina. This was a major stretch and smoke stop where I would usually see the face of the car to take pictures, but due to icy conditions and still 3 hours delayed schedule, passengers were being asked to stay by their car. You are really hard to see, aren't you? Goodbye, Raleigh. I'll see you again, hopefully on time next time. Here in Selma, NC, I very much enjoyed the benefit of being in the very last car.
Alright, next station stop here momentarily, Wilson, North Carolina, now arriving, Wilson.
It's probably our President Wilson or another famous Wilson, not the Wilson!
I couldn't find any volleyball here at Wilson. That would have been pretty cool though, right? And as we passed by other towns, I really got to enjoy a feast for the eyes. And as time went on, it was now time for a feast for my tummy. The lunch menu offers 6 different options and I chose the natural Angus burger with Swiss cheese, with lots and lots of kettle chips. They were really generous on this train. And mark my words, Amtrak kettle chips are one of the best you will ever find. But today's burger definitely went overboard with the cheese. I don't know if it's apparent, but buns were also very hard for some reason and it was an okay dining experience overall. But to make up for that, they have the best brownie of all time on Amtrak trains. Seriously, these brownies will make you dance. Whew. That's a rare sighting. Whew. We continued to cruise at relatively high speed without any issues or incidents, and my only wish was to arrive while we have some daylight so I can see the face of the car. Or, since we were already behind, just arrive much later so that Amtrak gives me free dinner. As the sun continued to set, it offered a stunning view of the surroundings as we neared my home sweet home. But it was quite apparent that we wouldn't make it before the sunset. Then even came this announcement.
You will get another crew boarding the train in Washington to take you to Chicago.
And that dinner will be served by the new crew unless, the train breaks down or something. And so even though it was now dinner time, I kept to sightseeing until a freight train started traveling by my side. There's the Jefferson Memorial and the monument. And we pulled into Washington, D.C., offering an iconic Capitol view with traffic. If you'd like to see the rest of my trip to Chicago in the blue car, I'll put a link here once the video is ready. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Oh, and I eventually got to see the face in the dark.